Hi, it's Taylor Love of the Taylor Love Tells All Love's Tragic Comedy Show. This is Sebastian. Anyway, the headline reads South Carolina officer is charged with murder of Walter Scott. So here we are again. Same old news, same old situation. A white officer in Charleston, South Carolina, shot an unarmed black man by the name of Walter Scott in the back. I believe he got hit. He shot at him 8 times, but hit him 5 times. So, I mean, really? But, I said, let me look at the circumstances. But to me, there's really no circumstance where you should shoot and kill somebody, and especially shoot them in the back, unless they're running down the street with some kind of bomb or something attached to them. Crazy, shoot guns blazing. But that was not the case in Charleston, South Carolina. So, Walter Scott, from what I read, this is New York Times article. He's driving along. He's in a Mercedes. I don't know what year it is. I don't know if it's his car. He's driving along, and the officer, Michael Slager, pulls him over because his tail light is out. So he pulls him over on a routine traffic stop. And unbeknownst to the officer, there is a person, a civilian, just there taping on his cell phone. So the officer and the dash cam on the car is recording as well. So the officer goes up to Walter Scott, and you can see them talking at the window. And they said that they captured some of the audio where Walter said he didn't have his registration or his insurance card because he was in the process of buying this Mercedes. Okay, that makes sense. You taking it for a run or whatever to see how it is, and you don't have the proper paperwork. So then Slager, the officer, goes back to his car. While he's back at the car, I guess he's running Walter Scott's driver's license. And you see Walter Scott, somebody's in the passenger seat. They haven't made any reference to whoever that is on the news yet. But anyway, Walter Scott, he opens up the driver's side car door while the officer is back in his car, I guess, running the license. And he steps out of the car. It's like, he's like, maybe not. He gets back in the car, so he's sitting there for, seems like maybe half a minute. He opens the car door again. It's not funny. I'm not trying to make light of the situation. I know that there's someone who died out of this altercation. But he opens the car door and starts to run for it. Why? First of all, you're in Charleston, South Carolina. Second of all, he already has your license. And three, where the hell do you think you're going? I mean, really? So, it's alleged, or it's been leaked or whatever, that he ran because he owes child support. So, nothing about this. We're going to get to the officer in a minute, but we're going to talk about Walter Scott for a minute. Nothing about this makes sense. And you leave your passenger sitting there. Do you not think they're going to find out where you are and come for you? I mean, how much child support do you really owe? And why are you allegedly buying a Mercedes if you owe all this child support? But anyway, nonetheless, he didn't deserve to die. So, a chase ensues. This is when the civilian with his cell phone starts to capture the footage. So Walter Scott, and they keep showing the video over and over again, and my news is typically CNN. I don't know what you watch, but anyway, they show pretty much the entire clip. So Walter Scott is running. The police officer takes his stance, and they kind of tussling a little bit, and Walter Scott is running away from the officer. The officer takes his, shoot stance and shoots 8 times, and he missed 3, I believe. I think he got shot in the buttocks, in the ear, and the rest of them hit him in the back, and one of them pierced his heart, and you see him fall to the ground. So then the officer goes over to Walter Scott. We don't know if he's still alive or dead. Handcuffs him. Gets on the radio talking about shots fired. He had my taser. And then you see him pick up the taser from somewhere. Walks away now. Goes to pick up the taser from over there somewhere. Brings it back and drops it by the body. Well, the guy that took the video came forward and turned the footage over. So they have charged Michael Slager with murder in this particular case. And I think justifiably so. My thing, oh, and of course, always gotta go back to what they said about the victim, because you know when it's a black guy, they went back to when he was in elementary school and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. But apparently, he's been in and out of jail for not paying child support. He's had a couple of little incidents back in 1987. Well, who didn't have something back in 1987? So let's see. He was arrested in 1987 on an assault and battery charge and convicted in 1991 of possession of a bludgeon. The newspaper reported. A bludgeon? What is that? I'm thinking it's like a baseball bat, because they say when you're bludgeoned to death, you're beat with something. So y'all look that up and let me know. So, you know, but he's got children. He's got family that loves him. It's a very, very sad situation. And I was, you know, Charleston, it was on my bucket list of places to go. And a loudmouth black girl like me may want to think, give that a second thought before I go to Charleston. So I looked at some statistics. Okay, North Charleston, where this incident happened, is the third largest city with a population of about 100,000 African Americans, and they make up 47% of the residents, and whites account for about 37%. So blacks outnumber the whites there. And the police department is about 80% white. So, good God, why aren't black people joining the police force? I don't know what's going on down in Charleston, but I'm not really trying to go through there and be caught up in their madness. But anyway, so Slager was arrested. He has, like I said, been charged with murder. So we'll see what the jury pool looks like. So that'll be interesting if there's going to be a mixed bag of diversity, because the family's lawyer, when they do jury selection, I'm sure will try and get some diversity. Whereas, I'm sorry, did I say that? Whatever I said. I'm sure that the prosecutor who is going to prosecute Michael Slager, if he or she, the prosecutor, is in fact looking for justice, will get a jury pool that is diverse. Whereas the defense attorney for Michael Slager, the officer, I'm thinking it's probably going to try and get all white males. So we're going to see how this pans out, and I'll keep you posted. But one thing I know for sure, and one thing, you know, life is not fair. But one thing you can count on, if you a black man in America and you run from the police or get in an altercation with the police, things are not going to go well for you. So we got to be a little smarter. Even though we may feel that they're wrong, we just got to, we want to come home. And if it means serving 2 or 3 days in lockup versus, you know, going through the pearly gates, then that's what we have to do. So, smooches to you. Be safe and tune in to the Taylor Love Show every Saturday on ListenVisionLive.com from 11 a.m. to noon. And don't forget, go to my YouTube channel, Taylor Love Tells All, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.